Joe, everybody seemed to shoot well, kind of play well offensively after a couple of tough ones. How important after some offensive struggles, how important is it to kind of head into a break feeling good about yourself like this?
I don't know that it's important one way or the other. I mean, it really just depends on how we, attack the week from a recovery standpoint, and then how we, attack heading back into it. So, I mean, you could feel really good now, and then we don't come back with the right mindset or what we need to have. You could feel really bad and come back with the right mindset. So, just got to continue to stick to the process of regardless of the result. How do we get better? What that looks like. So for the next week, it looks like recovery, physically, mentally, and then we get back after it.
And just what did you see from Vuce as he continues to try to get a little bit more comfortable?
Yeah, much more comfortable today. Really, his pick and roll positioning defensively was good, really good. Just the reads, and then offensively the reads were good. Spacing, understanding where he is, the early offense reads, offensive execution. Just felt much more comfortable out there. So it's always good to get out and practice and be able to do that. And he values the details and wants to get it right. So he's put a lot of preparation into it, and looked much better tonight.
I was going to ask specifically about the defense from Vuce. You mentioned the pick and roll positioning. How much did that practice help? Like, what specifically do you think he was able to pick up and learn about the way you guys play defense that allowed him to have that success?
I think it's just our system in general, having an understanding of it. And so, we were able to slow down, and just practice it. And I think nothing beats that, like getting on the court and being able to go live, versus each other, versus players, and be in those positions. We did it. He worked his ass off from an individual film standpoint and walkthroughs and stuff like that, but nothing beats just getting on the court. So just understanding the positioning of what we do, the couple on both ends of the floor, and I thought he kind of took advantage of that tonight.
How much time has he spent studying film in these first week he's been here?
No, he prepares. So I don't know what he does at home. He's got a wife and kids, so I hope he's spending time with them. But he cares about the details. He cares about wanting to get it right and wants to win. So I trust the process of his preparation.
Joe, Jordan had a big game tonight for you guys. A couple steals, 16 points. What do you think is the key for him? Like when he checks into a game, obviously you want everybody to execute and do all those things, but it seems like sometimes he gets off to a start that just kind of grows from there. What's the key? Like, is it the first few plays?
Yeah, I think it's just the mindset that he brings, and so I think the steal that he had at half court that led to the dunk. I think a couple of the offensive rebounds that he had. It's just coming in and making an impact right away. Everyone's got different roles and responsibilities, and his is to get, when you come in, you got to help us go on a run. You got to do something, whether it's an offensive rebound, a steal, a deflection, block, and so he takes his role serious, and I thought he was tremendous tonight on both ends of the floor.
He also had 16 points. That's the second most he's had this season and for his career. What have you seen in terms of his growth, just finding his opportunities to score within the offense?
Well, I think 6 to 8 of those came on offensive glass, which, he should be crashing every single time. So I think, you can get as many as you want if you can get as many offensive rebounds. And so he was able to get a decent amount of those off offensive rebounds, knock down a couple shots. And so I think it's just, you kind of saw tonight his versatility just on both ends of the floor.
Oh, Joe, what's your assessment of this team after the, 50-plus games in terms of just what needs to be done over the next 30? Are you impressed? How would you characterize it?
Yeah, I think, the regular season, the challenge is like, on day one, you set a standard, and it's like, okay, this is the identity, this is who we want to become. And I think the regular season is like, how long does it take for us to get there? When we're there, how long does it take us to stay there? When we don't stay there, how quickly can we get it back, right? And so I think if you take a look up to this point, I think we have a clear understanding of who we are as a team. From a tactical standpoint, from an identity standpoint, from a mindset standpoint, I think we've, played more times than not to the best version of ourselves. And I think, the challenge is, can we maintain that? But then can we also take it to another level? There's been, whether we've won or lost, there's been games this year where teams have exposed, what we need to work on and where we need to grow. So how do we take advantage of that? And, I think that starts with the guy's ability to come into a film session, regardless of the result, and say, okay, hey, whether we won this by 20 or lost by 1, this team exposed something that we can work on, and we just have to get better at it.
Have the players learned quicker than you thought they might? I don't know, you don't put expectations on them, but have they?
Yeah, I think when you're trying to put together an identity and a team, and when we've lost and adding new guys and young guys, I think I would hope to if we would have gotten up to this point. But I do think, we got to, what it looks like to play Celtic basketball this year. We got to it, at a good pace and when we needed it to, and we've kept it when we needed it to.
Joe, Anthony was talking this morning about carrying forward the lessons, the growth he achieved here, going forward in his career. What did you see him accomplish here in terms of becoming a better player and, better person, all the things you value?
Well, I think it starts with him. Firstly, he didn't have to come in and accept what we needed from him and be open-minded and grow. And we wouldn't be in the position that we're in right now if he didn't help us win games. And so I think the humility and mindset that he brought into the role that we needed him to play, but also keep the confidence in who he is as a player and help us win games, and his ability to want to get it right on both ends of the floor. I think his commitment to the defensive end and his ability to play, whether it was coming off the bench, whether it was starting, whether it was playing, 14, 15 minutes straight. He just his care factor is really high, and he wanted to do whatever it takes to win. So that's what I remember him for, and to this day, in this season, there's a reason why we're in this position, and he's part of that.
And Ron's going to be going to All-Star Weekend. Obviously, spent a lot more time with Boston in recent weeks. What have you seen from him in terms of growth since that first training camp here, and what can he bring to you guys in the second half?
Yeah, he had 2 rebounds to start the game in Houston. And then his individual defense, and he has a care factor as well and a competitiveness to him. But the way those 2 rebounds he got at the start of the Houston game, and then a couple of his individual defensive possessions, had a couple tonight. It's his defense and his rebounding, and his ability to think. And he cares about the details, and I've seen him get a lot better. And like I said, everyone on our roster can impact winning at any time, and everyone has helped us win a game, and we just got to keep that going forward.
I was wondering, because you had a new starting lineup today. You were starting Garza and Keita in the past. Are you going to go back to more double big lineups as time goes on with Vucevic?
The only thing we know is that we don't know anything, and it's just anything can happen. And so we just have to be ready to adjust either to our opponents or to what gives us the best chance to win. And we're grateful to the ownership and the front office and the locker room, to where we have versatility and we have the ability to play a bunch of different ways. And whatever gives us the best chance to win that night, our guys trust that, and we just got to be ready to win. Thanks.